I'd like to go through a certain part of Google Forms for doing quiz assignments, and it is particular to any forms where you've done more than just multiple choice. So if you put in a short answer question or a long answer question, something like that, as well as or instead of multiple choice questions, you need to do an extra step. If you've done only multiple choice questions, you can forget this video and log out. Okay, so I want to show you an example of a form I use with my TYs where I need to do some element of manual review. So I'm going to go and find that. Now you can go into the class. I find it far quicker to go into the to-do section and find my class. I can see all the assignments there. Now 54 students have done their simultaneous equations form. They're the ones I want to mark. Now I don't have any marks there yet. Okay, so I can populate that later on. Okay, the main thing I need to do is I need to go into the form and double check the answers that weren't multiple choice answers. Okay, that weren't exactly correct, typed in correctly, because they may be correct but just not typed in correct. So I'm going to click on the form, and now this is the form. This is what the students would see. Okay, and they can put in their answers and so forth. But I need to see it in the editing format. So down the bottom right hand corner, there's the edit pen. Click on the edit pen. Here is what it looked like when I was creating this form. Okay, there's 4 questions. They're all short answer questions. And before I move on, just very quickly, I want to just point out to you, I've actually put in an answer key. I put in values for the number of marks available, and also I've typed in the correct answer. So if they type that in, they automatically get the right answer, and they automatically get the marks given to them. Okay, now I can add in extra ones. Okay, for example, I could put in spaces in between and so forth and so forth. I can write x equals -1, y equals -5. I could do that as extras. That probably would help me a little bit, and you'll see in a moment why it would help me. But anyway, I've just left it as the one single answer. I've also actually added in some feedback. Okay, both in terms of text and also a link to a file in Google Drive that has the work solution. Okay, so just it's something useful to set yourself up with the answer key, with the marks available, and also feedback as well, just in terms of formative assessment and all that sort of carry on. Right, so that's the form, but I want to go into the responses, this other tab that's at the top here. And when I click on responses, I have 3 different tabs available. I have a summary. I can see a sort of summary of what people have done initially. Okay, but I want to actually review some of those answers and just check maybe some people deserve more marks. I can look at each individual student and literally go through every single of the 54 students and just check what they typed in and so okay. But it's easier if I look at question 1 and look at everyone for question 1 and then look at question 2 and everyone for question 2. So we're going to question tab. I've got the first question here. I can see the question and the answer that I preloaded if I want to. And you can see here now, of the 54 students, 41 of them straight away typed in the correct response. Okay, and it has automatically given 2 marks to it. Okay, the next 2 students on this just list here, they've typed in the correct answer. Okay, they've not necessarily put it in the format that I asked for, but I'm going to give them the full marks. Okay, 2 marks available. If I scroll down, now here, this student here typed in correctly, but there was a slight error in their answer. I'm only going to give them 1 mark. Okay, there was 2 students actually did that. Okay, so it groups them. This student here did the correct answer, just happened to put a space in between. They deserve the full marks. Again, this student typed in the correct answer, but just not necessarily in the correct format. Okay, I'm going to give them the full marks. This student here made a mistake. Now, there could be a number of different reasons why they made a mistake. I'm not going to go into the pedagogy of this, and you can pick holes in the benefits of this test. This is a quick diagnostic test, if more than anything else. Okay, I'm not going to pick too many holes. I can't see their workings, which would be normal in maths. But I'm just going to give them 1 mark. Okay, actually no, so I'm going to give them no marks. Sorry, click on the X. Because none of the 2 numbers are correct. Okay, they can go back in and have another look at it. They can see the response, they can review the answer. This one here, the X value is correct, but the Y is wrong. Okay, so I'm going to type in 1 in there. This is completely wrong. Okay, I'm going to give them no marks. again, there's probably a minor mistake they made as to why they came up with 5, not -5. Okay, so I suspect I know why they've made the mistake. Someone might give them 0, 0, and then the last thing you need to do once you've gone through all of them, I've marked them all, I've given them all values to some extent, I need to click Save. Okay, so what that has done is that's made sure that it's saved those marks. Now I can move on to the second question, and I can do that with the second question. Again, this one here, the answer was 3-2, so the vast majority of them got the right answer. One person put a space in between, so you can see where this is going. I can mark all of that. Okay, so I'm not going to show you that process, but I'm going to show you then what you do once you've gone through all the questions and given all the sort of the marks and the partial marks and so forth, and checked minor, typing in mistakes and so forth. I'm going to show you what we do next. So at this stage, I've gone through all 4 questions. I toggle through, clicking save at the bottom each time, the save that appears at the bottom of the page. Okay, and I've now marked all those four questions for all 54 students. So that's done. Okay, so I can now just very quickly before I go anywhere else, just one thing you might want to just note that as well as your summary, you can see there suddenly it changed there. Okay, you can actually release the scores to them. Now I would recommend you only do that sort of once you're happy and everything's done and dusted. Okay, and you can release the scores, and it allows you to sort of send them an email basically with a message if you want, and it gives them the feedback. It lets them see the feedback that's loaded. I'm not going to do that right now, and you can individually do them. You can do certain students if you want to, but just so you know, that's a really useful feature available to you. You can also do it individually. You can look at individual students and release an individual score to an individual student. So that's me done and dusted with that. Okay, so I'm going to come out of that now and go back to my Google Classroom. So I've marked all of those. Okay, I've set up the feedback. I can add in extra feedback if I wanted to, and so forth. So here now, this is where I'm in the same position now as I would be if I had done a multiple choice quiz. And Peter is going to share a video with you showing you how you now draw all of that data from that Google form and insert it into Google Classroom. Thank you for listening.